Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Beyond the Boundary, Episode 7, entitled Color of Clouds. Excuse me. Okay, so this week's episode of Beyond the Boundary. Whew. Wow. Honestly, I had no major complaints with it. Like, this season of anime, the fall here of 2013, is really impressing me. In fact, this entire year's impressed me with really great anime. One thing in this episode, though, I just say that is kind of cleared up right now, because I originally thought that the two characters, Sakura and Mitsuki, were actually the same person. Alright? Because I don't recall them giving any distinction between the two before. Like, maybe they have, but I don't recall it. Alright, and maybe the only reason Mitsuki was nice to Mirai at school and didn't attack her at school is because they were at school. Okay. But no, they're completely different people, thankfully. And also, they look exactly the same, too, pretty much. So, yeah, but nope, they're different people, thankfully. Alright. Because we do get because the whole plot line with Sakura is resolved in this episode. Okay, she stops attacking Mirai and whatnot, and when I go through the summary, you'll find out why, obviously, and if you haven't watched the episode already. But yeah, so anyways, so I'm glad that part's finally cleared up to me. Alright, so yeah. Anyways, Sakura recalls Yui's warning of the Hollow Shadow's power while hunting an amphibious Yomu. The next day, Shizuku interrupts the literary club's usual theatrics to inform them of Sakura's impending transfer to their high school. However, Mirai decides not to intervene in the matter. That evening, Akihito goes to Sakura's, and when she goes to Sakura's aid, when she passes out from fighting a flying Yomu and takes her home to tend to her wound. Before he does that, he actually takes her staff and kills the Yomu with it. And it seems like it's sapping his, like, spirit energy. Or I forget what they call it in the series. I'm not sure if it's that or not. But basically it zaps his energy. And he doesn't understand why at first. But in this next scene, he will figure out why. Alright. Here, Sakura explains that her spirit grows stronger by devouring Yomu crystals. And that a mysterious man gave it to her. Which she may keep on the condition that she kills Mirai. And that's basically why it zapped some of his energy, some of Akihito's energy earlier. Alright. At that instant, Mirai unexpectedly drops by to return Akihito's phone, forcing the latter to reveal Sakura when Mirai spirals out of control upon noticing the second pair of shoes at his doorstep. The next day, Sakura has a successful transfer despite Akihito's caution. That afternoon, Mirai and Sakura meet at a market alley to settle their score and begin their inevitable battle. Drawing Sakura into the sewers, Mirai explains her realization of revenge being the wrong path and her intention to live for the sake of the Inami sisters. This causes Sakura to lose her fighting resolve, at which point the spear attempts to devour her before Mirai stops it. In the aftermath, Sakura admits having lost sight of herself at the chime of Yui's bell necklace, clouding her feelings for Mirai, which she accepts and both of them reconcile. This also may be partially because beforehand Mirai actually tells her that her sister envied her, meaning Yui envied Sakura. Sisters, obviously. Alright, and it may seem like a minor thing, but I think this is still a pretty big reason why Sakura stopped, because Sakura, from what I understand, always envied her older sister, Yui. But now she finds out that Yui always envied her. So, I'm sure this hit hard with her, Anyways, with the spear now having devoured enough Yomu, Miroku collects it with the intention of retrieving the Hollow Shadow's crystal. Now, I think that Miroku's supposed to be like the... I think, mind you, that Miroku's supposed to be like the one who initially gave Sakura her staff anyways. Alright. So I'm making a prediction now that he might actually be a major antagonist later on. Just because you don't introduce a fucking character like this and then have them have nothing to do with the rest of your series, alright? You just don't. Okay? Finally, Izumi and Mitsuki witness the beginning of a phenomenon called the Calm as it spreads through Nagatsuki City, foreshadowing an event known as Beyond the Boundary, which I guess is the English namesake of this. Well, I guess is the namesake of this series in the first place. Okay. So yeah, and that is this episode in a nutshell. It was awesome. Oh my god, like the animation was perfect. No faults in the animation whatsoever. Okay? And it made it seem like I'm kissing this episode's ass right here, right? But it's not going undeserved. I'm telling you that right now, it's not going fucking undeserved. This episode is my favorite in the series so far. Period. Now, I do want to... There are a few things, I do want to see more of Miroku in the future, alright? It seems like if he is a major antagonist later on, then he could be a pretty interesting one. Alright? I'm glad that I got it cleared up for myself about Sakura and Mitsuki not being the same person after all. So yeah, and ultimately, my favorite scene was that scene. I think it was someplace underground, in like some sort of underground area or something. In this episode with Mirai and Sakura, that was actually my favorite scene in the episode. All right, and we did get a brief flashback there too, and whatnot. My question is this though, and this happens with a lot of stories, especially in anime, where a character wants revenge. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. But you have to look at it logically, though. Like, does Mirai control the Hollow Shadow? From the flashbacks we saw earlier, the Hollow Shadow is what killed Yui. Not Mirai. Is Mirai the cause of the Hollow Shadow? I mean, if so, then okay, that would be something. But no, she's not. Okay, so why blame it on her if she's not the cause of the fucking Hollow Shadow? Yeah, I know her powers kind of went out of control there, but I suppose you could argue that maybe that was the cause. But the Hollow Shadow was also there too, so we don't really know, I guess, which one it was that actually killed Yui. And besides, if Mirai's powers went out of control and she couldn't control them, why try to kill her if she could not control them? So, Sakura's whole logic here with her revenge and whatnot, I just think didn't work. And I'm glad it's done. I'm glad that it's not going to be going to the end of the series because it just did not work. I don't think it was well written. Alright, I think there was a few things missing here, like the logic behind blaming Mirai for it when there's obvious evidence here that it wasn't her fucking fault. I know when someone loses someone that they love, their judgment can be clouded, but this is just ridiculous, okay? So I did not like that at all now that I really think of it deeper, and I'm glad that that plot point seems to be done at this point, hopefully, okay? So yes, but anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Seized after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.